Ultimate Wolverine issue number 1 has officially come out today that I'm recording this video, and man, was this a really good introduction to the Ultimate Universe's new Wolverine. Really great action sequences, the art was fantastic, and how we got this version of Wolverine and how he might be utilized in the future of this new Ultimate Universe is definitely interesting, and I can't wait to just jump right into this issue because a lot was shown in it. But before we jump into anything, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I'm making here on the channel and shows you want to see more. If you like me covering Ultimate Wolverine once it comes out, I'm going to try and do almost every single Ultimate title from the Ultimate Universe as best I can, as well as any other Marvel or DC related videos. I've got a lot planned for this channel, so look forward to all that. Now then, let's jump right into this issue with, honestly, the first blurb that we get in this issue, giving us a bit of background, talking about how the Maker used time travel to create his ideal Earth, and systematically preventing people from becoming superheroes, and even creating his own superpowered council of supervillains, the Maker's Council, to rule the world from the shadows. And so a bit of background we get about the Eurasian Republic. It's ruled by Pyotr Rasputin, aka Colossus, Ilyana Rasputin, his sister, aka Magik, and Arkady Rozovich, aka Omega Red. And so, in main continuity, Omega Red is definitely a villain, but Colossus and Magik are mostly heroes throughout the entirety of their history, save for a few interesting moments in comics. But they rule the Eurasian Republic, and it has become one of the 2 places in the world that are known for mutant activity. And these 3 created Directorate X, a secret division of their government that seeks to exploit the unique genetic powers exhibited in mutant-kind, headed by Dr. Alonia Prostovich, but no power exists without its checks and balances, as a covert group called the Opposition arose to fight to free mutants from the experimentation and Republic control. So this already gives us a good bit of background to how the Eurasian Republic has been run and how mutants are playing into it, and the vast oversight from the government side of things being run by the Rasputin siblings and Omega Red. But let's jump straight into the issue as we are near the border of the Eurasian Republic and Latveria ER airspace, as we get 2 soldiers talking about the person that they brought with them, as they're wondering who he is. He's kind of creeping them out, saying that they heard that he was part of the experiment gone wrong in the North American Union. Somebody they know in the infantry unit says that he is not a man at all. He says he's pieced together from corpses or soldiers who died in combat, and says that he can't die. He's been blown up, stabbed, shot, and he always comes back same as before, as we actually get to see Logan, aka the Ultimate Wolverine, just sitting in the cargo bay of this fighter plane. But then, after they talk about him, he gets up and stands, walking, opening the latch, and as the soldiers are originally thinking that he is going after them, opening the hatch, he heads towards them as they're trying to tell him he doesn't have a chute. But in that instance, Wolverine lunges from the back of the plane as he falls down to Earth, trying to land in the location that they're meant to go towards. Honestly, I really like the paneling of this, getting the close-up of Wolverine as he's just diving headfirst from like thousands of feet in the air, going to the ground. But as we see this, we get a flashback from when Logan was initially seemingly found by the Republic. All bloodied, most of his body just broken, bloodied, and burned as he's crawling away with a trail of blood with 2 soldiers following him as he's trying to get away. As they say that they thought nobody would survive the airstrike, as we find out that he was actually part, or seemingly was, in the location of the Opposition. Wolverine is trying to say something, but a gun is pointed at his head, as before we see them seemingly shoot him, we get cut back to the present with a close-up of Wolverine's face, as he is diving straight towards the location of the Opposition base, as everyone's wondering if that is a missile from the Republic, but no, it's probably a satellite or something. But in that instance, Wolverine makes a impactful explosion crash right on the ground, to the surprise of everybody. And as the soldiers of the Opposition are walking towards the cloud of smoke, as appearing from behind them is Wolverine, slashing through all of them to their shock and awe, taking them down. And we get a really awesome panel of Wolverine just standing ready to pounce with blood all over him in this darkly shaded smoke screen. And man, like I said at the beginning, the art in this issue is fantastic. We then get the sound of gunfire as we look inside the church, as Mystique and Nightcrawler, who is adorned as a priest, hear this. Mystique tells everybody to be ready and aim themselves for what is about to come in. Wolverine's claws pierce the door as Kurt tells everybody to run. Logan smashes in the door as we then get a flashback to when he was held captive by the leaders of the Eurasian Republic and the Maker's Council, Colossus, Magik, and Omega Red, talking about his enhanced regenerative abilities and how he managed to take out a group of soldiers that tried to kill him point blank. Omega Red stares at Logan, saying that he actually might like him. The Doctor says that the subject originates from the North American Union. Some of the other opposition forces, though, it hasn't spoken since we brought it to Moscow. As Colossus asking what they should do with him, the Doctor says that they have attempted skeletal enhancement before, as they know, but they've all been failures. And Colossus just can't permit it anymore as it is a waste of resources. But the Doctor says that they won't really need to worry about it with the specimen they have now, all while Wolverine is just bashing at the test tube that he's being kept in. Now, the skeletal enhancement thing that they're talking about is most likely the adamantium surgery to encase the bones and skeletal structure of the subject in adamantium, just like in mainline comics with how Wolverine got his adamantium skeleton and claws. Which, really cool that we're getting this here, as this is a vital part of Wolverine's origin from Weapon X, so it's really nice that we're getting this version of it being integrated in this comic. Magik says that he looks kind of wild, but the Doctor says, for now, yes. But what the specimen has is something that the other specimens don't have. His instinct, his survival instinct, as he is a survivor. Saying that, as an example, we tried to administer a sedative 4 times. 4 times they lost the doctors that were doing the sedation. Colossus, after hearing this, says that that means the specimen can't be controlled. But the Doctor says that's not really the case, as they have another specimen with them, and it is a telepath. And so the Doctor says once they have the specimen, aka Wolverine, under control, the opposition won't be a problem much longer, as they leave the room where Wolverine is being held captive in, with the blood that is smeared all over the test tube, looking like a red X, before we jump back to the present. Now, the thing I like is that they're really hammering in that they have a telepath to get Wolverine under control, because he is wild, he can't be controlled. But they're going to use a telepath to brainwash him, seemingly, to make him into a weapon for them, which is seemingly in the present what has happened. So that makes this incredibly interesting. Now, jumping back into the present, Wolverine staring down, ready to pounce at Mystique and Nightcrawler. Mystique says for the opposition to fire, but Kurt knows who he is. He knows who Wolverine is. Kurt begins to pray as everybody in the room begins to fire at Wolverine. As Wolverine lunges forward, as he continues to slash and dice up every member of the opposition as brutally and as efficiently as he can, as the feral animal that he is, all with the backdrop of Kurt praying to God and hiding beneath one of the pews. Mystique then tries to run away from him, but Logan is on her trail. But when he meets up to where her location is, he sees Colossus holding a giant machine gun, saying opposition rats are swarming all over the place. But Wolverine sniffs towards Colossus, and Colossus, with fear in his eyes, realizes what just happened. Wolverine lunges and slashes at Colossus as Colossus tries to fight back and fires right at Wolverine multiple times. But it's then that Wolverine slashes the machine gun's barrel and then slashes at the throat of Colossus, revealing that it was Mystique in disguise, tears in her eyes as she's trying to hold back the blood before dying. Now, this is Mystique's MO, trying to get into people's heads, but with how Wolverine is right now, he's relying purely on instinct and he can track her scent, so the shapeshifting was not going to work on Wolverine. As Wolverine walks away from Mystique's now deceased corpse with blood on his claws, he puts them together with the moonlight from the chapel shining down on him on top of all of the dead bodies, as Kurt watches in horror. As we cut back to the room where surgery is being implemented on Wolverine by the Eurasian scientists. As the Doctor says that Wolverine is kind of sedated, but he's relatively under control, and he's also chained up to essentially keep the doctors from being killed if he ever wakes up. But it looks like that they're using whatever telepath they had on hand to keep him under control. As the Doctor says that, yes, His allegiance will be to them, the Eurasian Republic, and its memories have been wiped completely. It will not even know its own name, but that instinct, its survival instinct, will remain. You will not find another specimen like it. Not even close. But maybe. But the specimen is truly unique. Its past self is dead. Logan, it was once called. But no more. We have taken the calling it a nickname that seemed pretty fitting. Lived, died, and born again as we choose. It will be cold-blooded, relentless, merciless, with the same metal mask that is placed over his mouth. As we cut back to the present, as we learn that this is, in fact, the Winter Soldier. As Kurt is staring down Wolverine, trying to talk to him, saying, "If you are who I think you are, no, I know. I know it's you. I don't know what they've done to you, but this isn't you." Wolverine charges in to try and smash through all the pews, with Kurt saying, "It's me, my friend. I beg you, please. I do not wish to fight." But Wolverine slashes away Kurt's hiding spot. As with a tear in his eye, Kurt says, "I am sorry," as he teleports away. And in a puff of smoke, Nightcrawler then disappears from Wolverine's sight and kicks him right in the chin, knocking him back to the pews. Nightcrawler then grabs him a gun with his tail as he prays to God to forgive him, but has to do what he must, with Wolverine getting his claws ready to lunge at Nightcrawler, with Nightcrawler teleporting back and forth with fumes of smoke screens created from his abilities, just trying to shoot him all over to even get a chance at dealing some major damage. It's then that Wolverine is injured with multiple gunfire. He takes cover for a second and sniffs the air, as he then manages to find Nightcrawler right as he teleports behind him and stabs him right in the chest. Kurt cries, calling Logan's name, saying, "If you're in there, my friend, I pray you have the strength. I'm sorry we weren't quick enough. We came back. We came back for you. We would always come back for." As Kurt dies, slumped on the ground with a trail of blood, as the Wolverine, the Winter Soldier, walks away staring down at his corpse. As he walks out of the church with blood all over him, with bodies on the ground, he looks over as the moonlight shines upon him, as we cut back to his time as an experiment, as a specimen, and in the process of him becoming the Winter Soldier. As he is being conditioned by the scientists, by the military generals, trying to convince him that Mystique and Nightcrawler are his enemies to the state. The difference between the opposition and them is that they know how to win, saying that they escaped 2 years ago from a Berlin camp, saying they could have been part of history, part of the solution, given themselves their bodies, their abilities for the Republic. Instead, they're running away. But not you. You are a fighter. As the general gets into Wolverine's face, he says, "You, my friend, you aren't part of history. No, you are history." As we're cutting back to the present, with the plane that Wolverine got back onto, taking off his face helmet as he looks down on it with blood stretched upon it. He then sniffs the blood on his hands, and with the last words being a prayer seemingly from Kurt, saying, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." As we continuously get closer to Wolverine's face, as we see a look of anger as the comic issue ends. And to make matters even more heart-wrenching, the real last page of this issue is a letter from Kurt talking about how he went to answer the call to fight, and how everybody has lost friends and loved ones, but specifically talks about one particular friend, the best friend he's ever had, has gone from him, praying for his soul, praying for his well-being, talking about the good times, and how he even called him Elf, a fun little nickname. And he prays that all will be well, as that is the end of this issue, as this letter was taken by the Eurasian government and was sentenced for destruction. Now that makes this issue hit even harder. Now when I first saw the teaser images for this comic, I thought Mystique and Nightcrawler were going to play some part in bringing Logan back to his senses to be on the good side. But in the first issue, his main connection to the world was killed by his own hands. This is a really hardcore, action-packed first issue, setting up what Wolverine is, while giving us the tragedy, seemingly like Wolverine might be coming back to his senses thanks to taking down his best friend. They might have conditioned him, they might have brainwashed him, but if there's anything we know about Wolverine throughout any comic run, it's that regardless of the memory loss, regardless of the hardships, he always finds his way back to being who he is. And I think that's what this comic is going to start to explore within its main issues before finally breaking free of the control of the Maker's Council and Magik, Colossus, and Omega Red. But what do you guys think of this first issue? I had a lot of fun. The art, again, was fantastic. This was a really action-packed issue. I'm sad to see Kirk go. He was one of my favorite X-Men characters, and the fact that he's not going to be in this Ultimate Universe as of this moment, thanks to this first issue, is honestly a real bummer for me. But it made this issue way more emotionally impactful, and I can't wait to see more of Ultimate Wolverine, of Logan's story in the new Ultimate Universe, and how he will potentially be brought into the fold with the fight against the Maker and the Maker's Council. But leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below what you thought of this issue and how you think the story is going to progress even further. And what was your favorite part of this issue and what do you expect to happen next? Let me know. And once more, if you haven't already, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more of me covering all these different comic issues and just talk about comics in general. Now, with all that said and done, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope you all have an awesome day.